When I went to see what the problem was, there was an error, a malfunction, which meant they said they were going to explain the malfunction to me and they were going to clear everything, which everything was resolved. So I didn't have to worry about anything. Grants, money from the college can help in a lot of ways, a lot of factors to help to cover other expenses. Housing isn't really much of a fee because I personally had to pay for that. That didn't really cost much. I believe it was $150. Even if you pay everything of now, you're still going to have to pay more fees in the future. Being in debt, number one, is the number one complaint that I hear from people when it comes to college. So when you finish college, you get the occupation you want, but you do have to pay some debt off. All of this wraps up why I think college can be a scam. Thank you for your time.
Before we welcome our next speaker, we ask that our speakers please speak clearly into both microphones. With that being said, we will now hear from Mr. Hadaway. Mr. Garland, you may now take your seat.
Greetings, Trojans. My name is Randy Hadaway, Mass Communications major. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. Today I will be debating on if is college a scam. I personally believe college is not a scam. For example, look at all these people around here in suits, dressed up really nice. If the cameras can turn to everybody in this classroom, look at how nice everybody looks today. Everybody looks sharp. Everybody came dressed and prepared today. Starting first, college creates a career and a path for everybody and anybody. For example, you have to start somewhere. Everybody who has a career, a job, who started something, they started somewhere. Most places they started was college. 50% of people who graduate from high school at 12th grade year go to college. For example, people like Erykah Badu, 2 Chainz, and Jay-Z. I am a photographer here at Virginia State University and a videographer. I went through things between weddings, birthday parties, events, music videos, anything you can name. I didn't start very big. I started real small. My freshman year, I came here and I didn't have much of an idea what to do. I talked to my advisor and she specifically told me everybody has to take a risk. You're in college or you're in the position you're in for a reason. So I stuck with it and I stayed with it. College is a big opportunity for many and most. For example, if you are an athlete in college, you can get paid up to thousands of dollars. The only thing you have to do in risk is grades, which is college and school. Other huge benefits is income. You can get paid different ways. You can get paid from your school, you can get paid from your peers, you can get paid from advisors, you can get paid from internships, and many more. Another big, huge impact in college is traveling. You can join different organizations, different fraternities, sororities, and different events on campus, and you can travel. For example, my fellow friend joined a sorority, and he traveled to ESPN himself, and he was able to interview the sports players and the with that being said, college can get you to huge and big opportunities. You can get to big platforms like ESPN, CBS, or even the news. Another big, huge benefit in college is meeting friends. Friends are a big benefit. They are also good with networking. For example, you might meet a friend who does photography as well as I do. And you can become friends with that friend and learn a lot from that one person. You can learn equipment, you can learn different angles, you can learn different styles, different places. You can learn a lot from your career. For example, if I was a fashion major and I met a friend who was another fashion major, we can connect and learn more and grow. College is also life training and life experience. Many people don't get a lot of opportunities, so when they do, they take it and they run with it and they go to college. They come to college with less and they graduate with a lot. Another thing college helps with is personal development. Realizing your mistakes, realizing your downfalls, realizing the mistakes you made. Another personal development is no parents. When you come to college, you have no parents. There is nobody holding your hand. You're not a baby no more. You're a grown adult. Another reason college displays personal development is it boosts your confidence. Confidence is a huge thing in life. Everybody needs confidence. For example, we all come here to this podium to have confidence to speak to our peers. Another good example is overcoming obstacles. Many people overcome many obstacles in college. You might have a downfall, you might be failing in class, you might be doing bad at your path, whatever it is, but you will and have to overcome. Another great example that college shows is organization, being organized. Being organized is a big part of life because you never want to not be organized or show up to an event or something important or big late. To conclude, everybody in college will first come here with sweatsuits on, real relaxed and real chill, and will graduate with suits and ties with their head up, positive and successful. And that concludes my argument. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hadaway. You gentlemen may take your seats. We will now welcome our next group of young ladies, Tiana Harris and Tyler Bradby. These young ladies will be arguing whether or not depression is a trend. We will begin with Ms. Harris. You may now come to the podium. Are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Your time starts now.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. My name is Tiana Harris. I am a junior math comm major from Emporia, Virginia, and I will be arguing, is depression a trend? Whew. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, while it's undeniable that depression is a serious mental health issue, we must also acknowledge the unfortunate reality that it can sometimes be misconstructed and glamorized within certain circles, thus turning it into a trend. This phenomenon is not to undermine the genuine suffering of those with clinical depression, but to address how societal attitudes and behaviors can unintentionally perpetrate and even intensify mental health challenges. Firstly, in the age of social media, there's a prevalent culture of oversharing personal struggles. While this can be a positive platform for destigmatizing mental health issues, it can also normalize and even glorify depression. With influencers and celebrities openly discussing their battles with mental health, there is a risk romanticizing depression, portraying it as a badge of honor or a mark of dependability. This can create a ripple effect where individuals emulate their behaviors to fit in or gain attention, perpetrating the notion that depression is a trend. Secondly, the commodification of mental health has led to a surge in products and services marketed as solutions to depression. From wellness retreats to mindful apps, there's an entire industry profiting from the notion of self-care and mental well-being. While some of these offerings can be genuinely helpful, others capitalize on the vulnerability of individuals struggling with mental health issues, offering quick that fail to address the root causes of depression. Lastly, peer influence and societal norms play a significant role in shaping behavior. In certain social circles participating among young people, there's a phenomenon known as competitive suffering, where individuals vie to attention and validation by outdoing each other's goals. In such environments, depression can become a means of gaining social capital, leading individuals to adopt depressive behaviors or self-diagnose in pursuit of belonging or recognition. In conclusion, while depression is a genuine mental health condition that requires empathy, understanding, and professional support, we cannot ignore the societal factors that contribute to it being a trend. By acknowledging these realities, we can work towards fostering a more nuanced understanding of mental health and promoting genuine efforts to support those in need. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. You may now be seated. We will now hear from Ms. Bradby. You may come to our podium. Are you ready to begin?
Yes, ma'am.
Your time starts now.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tyler Bradby, and I am a mass communications major from Virginia. Today, I will be addressing the question of, is depression a trend? My answer to this is no, it is not a trend. In order to understand this question, you have to ask yourself, what is depression and what is a trend? According to the National Institutes of Health, depression is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. And the Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines a trend as generating or attracting a lot of interest online and in social media. So to ask if this mood disorder has attracted a wide array of attention, you could say it has piqued the interest of the media. But is it solely because of social media? Or is this a true epidemic that constantly plagues society? Following an article from the National Library of Medicine, certain health-related concepts, including depression, have gained an increasing amount of awareness, creating a normal surrounding the topic and degrading the field and its effect on the population. This is because of concept creeping, referring to the expansion of a harm-related topic over time. Overall, this may not be a bad thing, but when adding to terminology, oftentimes the original meaning is misconstrued, and with depression, it can cause individuals who self-diagnose or overthink their symptoms to go with the more excessive or broadened options they come across. On the other hand, this could aid individuals to openly understand they may need to seek help or help correctly identify a wide majority of common symptoms affecting individuals and showing us depression isn't as clear-cut as we may have thought. In society today, I often hear of those around me battling deep waves of sadness or mental distress, indicating a possible rise of mental health issues and insight on society's awareness to the topic, as well as it becoming clear that depression has plagued our everyday lives for centuries. It's just being taken more seriously. And according to the World Health Organization, approximately 280 million people are experiencing depression, and more than 700,000 people between the ages of 15 and 13 go through this. So in conclusion, no, I do not believe depression is a trend. I see it's been a plague to our society, but we've been given the resources to easily address and identify it. And that is the end of my discussion. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, ladies, for your points. You both may now take your seats. We will now welcome our second moderator, Duchess Rookwood.
Thank you very much for the introduction. We will now welcome our next group, speakers Darian Almonte and Empress Hackett. You may now take a seat at the stage. These speakers will be debating whether it is easy or challenging to get into a healthy relationship following a toxic one. We will start with Mr. Almonte. You may now come to the podium.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Darian Almonte. I'm a mass communications major from Virginia Beach, Virginia. And today, my standpoint is it is easier to enter a healthy relationship after leaving a toxic one. This topic is very broad. I think it's also very relatable, and I actually want to be a little bit interactive. Can I get like a raise of hands as to who has experienced a toxic relationship, anything toxic? So a lot of y'all, yeah. It is. I know it's rough out here. It's rough out here. I know. But what I can say is you've likely gained a lot of insight to not do the same mistake again. Am I right? Cool. And you've likely gained different boundaries, different priorities. Realize what really matters to you, and you also gain a new sense of self-worth. Acknowledge your self-worth. You gain a new I gain a new sense of self-awareness. Having experienced a toxic relationship, you're likely to be more in tune with your own needs and values, which can help you guide towards a healthier dynamic when it comes to another relationship in the future. You're more likely to recognize warning signs or problematic behaviors earlier than others. Some may call these red flags. You might also find green flags. It allows you to also just gain a new appreciation for self, embraces your independence after going through something that emotionally draining. Something that draining could also allow you to gain a sense of emotional resilience. I know for me, my freshman year, personally, I made some poor decisions when it came to relationships or when it came to just friendships in general. So, I'm living proof right here. Toxic relationships can be damaging, so that's why you just have to continuously practice your self-care and development. These are all, and what's it called? Self and development, and optimism and growth leading forward. These are all things that are leading to you to learn more about yourself and to continue to grow instead of digressing your personal growth. Thank you for letting me speak today.
Thank you, Mr. Almonte. We will now have Ms. Hackett come to the podium.
Hi guys, my name is Empress Hackett. I'm a sophomore mass communications major from Richmond, Virginia, and I will be talking to y'all about why I believe that going from a toxic relationship to a healthy one is harder. Okay. You are used to certain triggers when being in a toxic relationship, and when going from a toxic relationship to a healthy one, it sometimes affects the new one because unknowingly you're used to the old toxicity and it brings it into the new one unknowingly. Now, of course, people talk about health, like healing. You have to heal before going into a new one. However, when it comes to your heart, when you're being put in that same position, it kind of brings back memories that you didn't know that you still had. So it puts you back in that position. Even though you may have healed, you still, feel the same way that you did before in those other relationships. A lot of the time, it starts to affect the way that, sorry, y'all, I'm a little nervous. A lot of the times, it starts to affect the healthy relationship and the way that you explain boundaries to them and your self-worth. So it can, it makes you like really force yourself to put yourself first, like, and it's uncomfortable, and it makes you think about the old relationship. You may feel like you're doing too much or you're being bothersome when it comes to these relationships. So it could be like an example of, in my past relationship, I said this and the reaction was rah, rah, rah. And so now you're scared to say it to the healthier relationship. But in reality, the healthier relationship is like chill, cool, calm, and collected. And you're just ODing for no reason. Many times people going from a toxic relationship to a healthy one have to fight against bringing the toxicity to the new one, because the new person didn't do anything, and it would be toxic of you to bring it to the new person. So now the new person thinks you're toxic just because of your history. A lot of the time it's unfortunate because the person with the toxic background may mess up the relationship unknowingly because of the trauma. Yeah, that's self-explanatory, like, yeah. And it's hard to believe things coming from the healthier relationship because of the toxic one. So I personally believe, from also talking to my sources, that it is hard to go from a toxic relationship to a healthy one. No matter if you heal, no matter if the healthier person is cool and chill, I feel like it's hard. Thank you. That's me.
Thank you, Ms. Hackett. Both of you may now return to your seats. We will now welcome our next group of speakers, Shania Mason Reynolds and Sarai Doyle. You may take a seat on the stage. These speakers will be arguing whether or not the death penalty should be given. We will start with Ms. Mason Reynolds. You may now come to the podium. Are you ready to begin?
Yes.
All right, your time starts now.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. Greetings. My name is Shania Mason Reynolds, and the debate topic I present to you today is, should the death penalty be given? Before answering, I would like to state some facts. As you know, the death penalty is usually given to people that do unspeakable actions, such as murder, decapitation, and in some rare cases, kidnapping. The death penalty comes in different forms. Examples of this are hanging, electrocution, gas chamber, ring squad, and lethal injection. I would like to speak on a very specific case that some will come to find familiar, but if you don't, you will. The George Stinney case. George was 14 years old when he was falsely accused and wrongfully sentenced to the death penalty by an electric chair. Prior to this incident, George and his sisters were playing in their yard when two non-colored girls approached them. They asked George and his sister a question, then later on the two girls never returned home. Eventually, a search team had been organized. George was a part of this team. George eventually made a remark to a bystander that he had seen the girls earlier the same day they went missing. The next day, the girls' bodies were found in a ditch. Unfortunately for George, he was immediately taken in and arrested for the murders. He was not able to speak to his parents, nor did he have an attorney. It was the sheriff's word against George's, and unfortunately and tragically, George had to die alone. As no African Americans were allowed in the courthouse, and George had an all-white jury convicting him of rape and murder. 70 years later, in 2014, his case came back up, having a 2-day hearing with his surviving sisters and some members of the search party. It was ruled that no one did nothing to at least try to protect this young boy, and he in fact did not commit this crime. In fact, there was never any proof that George confessed to the murders, as nothing was confessed from him by handwriting. Therefore, to answer the question, no, I do not think that there should be a death penalty. For one, whomever committed such crime isn't doing any time for whatever punishment whatever they did. They're getting released from any punishment that they did. They are guaranteed one last wish, that being a last meal. Before they go, that seems like an easy way out to me, let alone all facts and evidence isn't 100%. I use George's case for a reason, because his case was unfair. There are so many others that have gotten wrongfully accused and sentenced to the death because people in our system start pointing fingers when they can't figure out the truth, whether it's a racism thing or not. So my answer stands. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Mason Reynolds. You may be seated. We will now hear from Ms. Doyle. You may come to the podium. Are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Your time starts now.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'll be discussing why I believe the death penalty should be given. As we discuss further into this topic, I encourage you to think about concepts like fairness and discouragement. The death penalty is typically given as a punishment for certain serious crimes, such as murder, treason, espionage, and in some jurisdictions, sex trafficking or terrorism. It is usually reserved for cases where the crime is considered evil or where there's a strong need for deterrence. The exact circumstances under which is applied can be vary significantly between different countries and legal systems. Before I get into my cases, I would like to speak on the facts first. Research has shown when the death penalty is involved and is given sooner within 90 days, the crime rate is lower in other countries. Statistically, on Nations Masters, the United States murder rate is ranked at 5%, leaving China only down to 1.2%. Robberies for America is ranked at 146.4%, which is 6 times more than China, with the ranking of 24.5%. Gun crime in China is ranked at 4.9%, leaving America with 889% in rankings. In 1997, China's execution bus was released where they took people who committed serious crimes in the back of the bus, giving them an organ removal or decapitation as soon as they committed a crime. They cremated their bodies afterwards. Here in the United States, lethal injection is the most common form of execution, but is still followed by hanging, execution chair, and gas chambers. The original wording of murder instead of kill is important because the two are defined differently throughout the Bible. Killing was often done just under justifiable circumstances in the Bible, such as in times of war. Murder, on the other hand, was an unjust and sinful act. Thou shalt not kill is the 6th commandment in the Bible. Leviticus 24-17 states, if a man kills anyone, he must be put to death. The message is also repeated in Leviticus 24-21. Romans 13:1-2 states, obey the law of the land, for he had put them there. Now, my first case that I would like to speak on is the case of Mahogany Jackson, who was with people that she thought that she could trust, until she was accused of killing. Mahogany was stripped down, leaving her naked, kidnapped, handcuffed, beaten on, spitting on, forced to do sexual activities at gunpoint, and was suffering from urinated upon her. Mahogany sent her mother a text stating, I've been kidnapped, send help, don't call. By the time Mahogany's mother had looked on her phone, it was too late. Mahogany was found shot dead in the back of her head on the side of the road on February 26, 2024. 6 out of 8 people are now charged with felony murder and have been sent to grand jury. That rests my case.
Thank you, Ms. Doyle. Thank you both for your arguments. You may now return to your seats. Before we welcome our last group, I would like to mention that all tech crew members and class representatives are asked to stay after we conclude our debate for a photo op. With that being said, I welcome our final group of speakers. Speakers Michaela McDaniel and Tariq Salem. You may now take a seat at the stage. These speakers will be debating whether or not the legal drinking age should be lowered. We will begin with Ms. McDaniel. You may now come to the podium. Are you ready to begin?
Yes.
All right, your time starts now.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. Good evening, everybody, and greetings. I'm Michaela McDaniel, and a mass communication major. I'm here to argue against lowering the legal drinking age. The legal drinking age of 21 was set to deter young people from using alcohol carelessly. Restricting use to older adults who are likely to make more responsible and thoughtful drinking decisions. Additionally, it reduces the frequency of car accidents. Motor vehicle crash rates decreased by 16% on average in states where legal drinking age was raised to 21. Another reason is that it lowers alcohol consumption. Among people between the ages of 18 and 20, drinking decreased dramatically in the previous month. The 21 minimum legal drinking age is linked to lower rates of birth outcomes, suicides, homicides, and decreased alcohol and other drug dependence. It also protects health and well-being. Long-term alcohol misuse can result in several health complications that shorten life, such as heart disease, liver disease, and some types of cancer, and mental health problems. Remember, the impact on public health. In the United States, underage alcohol consumption accounts for about 4,000 deaths annually. 5% of high school students drove after consuming alcohol, and 14% rode with intoxicated drivers. Despite of some countries thinking lowering the drinking age encourage responsible drinking, according to research, younger drinkers are more likely to engage in dangerous habits. For instance, binge drinking, driving while intoxicated, and alcohol dependence. In conclusion, raising the legal drinking age to 21 is a preventive measure to enhance health, save lives, and reduce harmful effects of underage drinking. Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening to my argument.
Thank you, Ms. McDaniel. You may now take a seat. We will now hear from Mr. Salem. You may now come to the podium. Are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Your time starts now.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. Hi, my name is Tariq Al-Salam from PG County, Maryland, a Mass Comm major. As we know, the legal drinking age is 21. Could possibly lowering the age help push healthy drinking habits for early young adults? Drinking, as we know, leads to a lot of major problems when being abused, from alcohol poisoning to drinking and driving, etc. Lowering the age by 3 years to 18 with the right rules might help formulate safer drinking habits and limit problems with alcohol consumption. These rules will look like, say, an 18-year-old and their family go out to eat, maybe celebrating a big win or a graduation, in a controlled environment with their parents or guardian or responsible adult, with having a one refill limit of choice of alcohol. And the parent/adult will have to sign liable documents. The 18-year-old wouldn't be allowed to purchase alcohol until they are 21 years of age. Nobody really teaches healthy drinking habits. Just a typical don't drink and drive. It's good to know a stable, responsible young age of 18 to know when it's enough. For instance, you can open carry a firearm at 18 with a permit, but you can't drink. Something, if not more dangerous as drinking when misused and abused. Although drinking at 18 can lead to some issues the same as the legal age being 21, but teaching and building an understanding of being a responsible drinker is key. Thank you.
Thank you both for your arguments. You two may return to your seats. This now concludes our group debates, as we will now open the floor to our class representatives. We ask that each representative keep their points to a maximum of 1 minute and 2 questions. Once a minute has passed, a bell will ring. With this being said, I would like to welcome back Courtney Nicholson for the moderator.
As stated, this now concludes our group debates, and we will now open the floor to our class representatives. Up first, we have Christina Holmes. You may now come to our podium and give your thoughts.
Hello, I'm Christina Holmes. I only had a few comments for the should there be a death penalty, and I believe, is it harder to get into a healthy relationship from a toxic relationship? Should there be a death penalty? Y'all did so great with y'all debate on that one that it was 50-50 with both of your answers. And I love the fact that y'all both gave facts with bringing up both cases, tragic cases. And I also love the fact that brought up the case for George Stinney Jr. because the root of execution was hanging. So for me, if somebody were to ask, should there be a death penalty on certain serious cases where there are brutal murderers out there who just don't care, yes. So that's why I say yes, there should, but also it can be humane to some people, which is why I also agree with, I forgot her last name, blonde hair, but yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. And the toxic relationships, I also agree with Empress that it is harder to get into a healthy relationship from a toxic relationship. And I love how y'all both brought up the points of that's why it's important to heal, that's why it's important to talk to somebody, etc. But also for women, for us, since we're very emotional human beings, that's why it takes a lot of time for us to really heal, especially coming from a person who got out of a long toxic relationship for years. And that can have an impact on you emotionally. Whereas to guys, they can just jump ahead and just get into a relationship because they're not as emotional as us. So, and that's all I had. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holmes, for your remarks. We will now welcome Xavier Clark. You may now come to the podium.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. Okay, so there is a couple of things I wanted to kind of talk about during this debate. First, I want to foremost to say that I greatly appreciate everybody's topic. It was an amazing, great debate. It's been nothing but a blessing to hear everybody's thoughts and everybody's concerns on what they feel that in this environment needs to be talked about. I want to start off with should the death penalty be given? Yes. Yes. I feel as if there are, not to be as blind and rude, but there are a lot of cruel people in this earth that don't take into consideration or don't have a care of what they're doing in life. So they feel as if whatever they've ever had as trauma going on, they feel like it could be passed on and used as, okay, so I feel like I could do better since I can share it off and give it to someone else. Is college a scam? I want to say YouTube made a really good argument about that debate. It's been bouncing back and forth between my head during the whole debate. I want to say I love the given passion, even though the nervousness probably kicked in a lot. But I want to say I just love the fact of the driven passion to keep going and keep proceeding about your topic. And that'll be all for me.
Thank you for your points, Mr. Clark. We will now have Ajon Orange come to our podium.
So I would like to respond to a topic which I heard, right? Someone said that college brings you from a place where you start here from a sweatsuit and joggers and you end in a suit and tie. I would like to ask, right, what is socially more acceptable? They'll end up in a suit and tie, but why is that socially more acceptable? What is the difference in between being taken serious from what I'm wearing right here to and my voice and diction, how I pronounce and enunciate my words, and the character at which I speak and the character at which you are? Why is that being taken less serious than the clothes and the article of clothing that I wear? Why is it that when somebody, for those who can't afford those clothes, why is it that societally they're taken less serious? Why don't they get the second, right? Why don't they get the place why do they get doubted? Why are they doubted? Why is it that you come over here, you come out with a t-shirt, with some joggers, with a pair of sneakers? Why is it that that is being looked at more than the way I pronounce my words and what I'm saying, right? I would just like to ask, just for, it could be responded to, or just for a place of thought, why is that socially all around the achievement and the goal, that set of clothing? Because those set of clothing could mean very little. The thing, that suit and tie you wear, that could be a facade. That could be false prophets. That's really all I have to say, all I have to speak on.
Thank you, Mr. Orange, for your points. You may now take your seat. We will now welcome Ms. Solina Reed. You may now come to our podium.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. It is Selena, by the way. To start, I want to say that you all had very great debate topics and y'all executed it very well. I had some thoughts about I have thoughts about two groups. The first one being, is college a scam? For Uriah, my question to you is, if you feel like that is a scam, how do you use the system to your advantage? Because everything is a scam. I'm not gonna lie. So how would you use that system to your advantage? Because the same way that college is a scam, the justice system is also a scam. So how would you use it to your advantage? Because I'm not gonna lie, in the justice system, there are ways to get around things, but that's another topic for another day. My second point with the second group, I had a question for Tiana. How do I put this? Do you feel like depression is a trend, not because for what a trend is, but because of the fact that people are so desensitized that they are trying to make a way to feel something? So that is my only question, and I guess the way to make that make sense is because let's take GTA, for example. A lot of kids play that game, and in today's society, we're very desensitized to that. That's exactly why we have a lot of mass shootings, a lot of this, a lot of that going on in our schools. And then on top of that, let's take it worldwide. There are 3 genocides going on in the world right now. Nobody's talking about it. Everybody's desensitized to it. It's just the normal thing that you see on your timeline. So maybe everybody probably is feeling a form of depression, but it's not executed in the right way, because some people use it as a way to get attention, but everybody, in fact, is definitely feeling that because the weight of the world is on everybody's shoulders. Thank you.
Thank you for your points, Ms. Reed. You are very well spoken, if I may say so. We will now welcome Serenity Doyle to the podium.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. I just had a few points I wanted to make about college being a scam. I believe college isn't a scam. In fact, it actually allows you a chance to really discover yourself, because a lot of the times we're coming fresh out of high school, not knowing what to do, and just trying to make it, in a sense, to make our families proud. So I believe college allows you to discover yourself while also giving you an opportunity to really build new relationships with people and develop the skills that you need to even succeed in a regular workplace. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Doyle. We will now welcome our second moderator, Duchess Rookwood.
Thank you very much. We will now welcome Representative Mr. Devin Gray to the podium.
What's good, everybody? My name is Devin. For real, I ain't got too much for y'all. I just got one question for my brother in Christ, Darian, over here. I know you said, I think you was talking about how it was easier to get out of a toxic relationship and come into a healthy one. You don't got to answer this for real. This is, me putting this out here. Do you feel as if when there's a case where there's two people that come out of a toxic relationship and, they heal and everything and they find each other, do you feel as if it would, be more on a side where they both are going to be more there for each other because of what they went through, or because of their old scars, do you feel as if they might end up bleeding on each other, even if they both did end up healing? All right, all right, cool, that's it. Ain't even kidding, don't worry.
Thank you for your thoughts. We will now welcome Representative Christian Dixon to the podium.
Greetings. My name is Christian Dixon, a junior mass comm major all the way from South Boston, Virginia. In my rebuttals, just gonna touch on, is the college a scam? I say that it's not a scam. I mean, your points you was trying to make, Mr. Sir, it was just basically like just money. It was kind of just like, not complaining, but like a little bit of complaining. But I think college is not a scam because it helps you with great networking. I know you can network in college, but no, I meant network in high school. But in college you have people from like, Africa, some people from like all around the world. And they know folks and they know folks. You get cool with them, hello, you're in there. And then I think it helps you with that everyday life. Cause like Mrs. Goodchurch said, half of us come out of high school all new. College helps you budget your money because I know everybody gets tired of the cash sometimes. So you buy food and you buy food, and that adds up. And then you want to go outside and party. That adds up as well. And then, if you're like the good heart-felt friend, sometimes you have to look out for your other folks. That adds up as well. And then, hey, I'm sick of wearing these clothes. I'm gonna buy some more. That adds up as well. So I think it helps you budget with the everyday life. Another one, Mrs. Empress and Mr. Sir. Is it easy to get in a healthy relationship from coming from a toxic relationship? I go with Empress when she said no, because you still have those triggers that's gonna get to you, and then you're still getting to know the person, am I correct? That one little thing that they do, you're probably gonna snap, because in your toxic relationship, that's all y'all know what to do, is snap, crackle, and pop. And those are my rebuttals. Thank you.
Thank you for your thoughts. We will now welcome Representative Falon Pathras to the podium.
First off, I want to say I feel like everybody did a good job presenting and stuff. And so for my rebuttal, I wanted to touch on the drinking age. So I wanted to ask, why is it that at the age of 18, we're responsible adults and we're considered able to go off and fight in war and die, but we're not allowed to drink? We're legal adults at that age, right? We are able to buy a house, buy a car, finance, have credit. So what's wrong with the drinking age being higher than 18? I mean, we can make every other adult decision by ourselves at that age, so why can't we drink? And then also for the death penalty, that was what it was. So about like repeated offenders, what's gonna stop them from making those same mistakes in jail, like murdering people in jail? How do we like draw a line for people to stop committing these crimes? Like Jeffrey Dahmer, for instance. He killed a lot of people, and once he got in jail, there was nothing stopping him from killing more people. He just thought that he found Christ, and he drew a distinction on what he should and should not do, and he felt remorse. But if he wanted to, he could have kept killing. There was nothing stopping him. So it's just like, it's a line we need to draw for repeated offenses and people that don't have the right mental stability and sanity. That's all.
Thank you for your thoughts. We will now welcome our last representative, Soraya Peterson, to the podium.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sanaya Peterson. I'll be speaking on our participation trophies becoming too glorified among younger ages. I feel as though I agree with both of you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Taylor. Y'all both had great points. I do feel like, as an athlete myself, I used to get, participation trophies as a child, and it was all cute and stuff when you're younger. But then when you get older, you need to work for your goal. You need to work for your trophies, and to get awards. And it's not gonna just get handed to you. You have to work for it. So I agree more with. I don't know which one I agree more. I'm not gonna lie. Like, y'all both have great points. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you for your thoughts. Okay. We will now welcome another representative, Randall Pearson, to the stage.
How y'all doing? Good afternoon. Okay, first of all, I feel like everybody did an amazing job. I'm not gonna be up here for you long, because I can't. I'm on the time frame. Mine is my young brother right here in the front. Where you going? Okay. No, I don't have no question to have comment. Okay. I just feel like, with you saying college being a scam, with me saying, I came here on a football scholarship. So one of my main reasons for playing football is, my people ain't got to pay. So aside from the education standpoint, because I know everybody wants to talk about the education standpoint, I feel like college, it's a preparation for life, you feel me? Like he said, budgeting your money and just growing up, I know I'm a mama's boy, and I don't care about saying it. I grew up stuck up under my mama. My mama took care of me. So, I know I had to go and grow up away from my mama. And I feel like I'm doing a good job with that, it's not just the money, and I feel like that's all you talked about was money. And people is big about money because I like money too. But I just feel like, college is a scam because, like I said, aside from the education standpoint, you can grow up. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't bashing you. You did a good job. I just, everybody did a good job. But, I feel like college ain't a scam, my young brother. Aside from that, that's all I got.
Thank you for your thoughts.
topic has been brought up too many times. So I feel like I'm gonna say what I said up there. I got forced into here. But it was because I was getting good grades. So my family felt like I had the potential to come to college because they felt like, you know, you getting good grades, you should do it. But I did it. And that's just that.
Thank you for your comments. All right. That concludes our class representative thoughts. Now we will open the floor to questions for our debaters from our audience members. If you have any specific questions or concerns, you may come to the podium and address said speaker. All right. Given that, unfortunately, due to time, that will conclude our audience member Q&A and will further conclude this debate. Thank you to everyone who participated and came to support our class. Oh, if everyone would please stay seated.